And we're now recording. All right. Looks like people are starting to trickle in. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Welcome back. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. Let me get this gum out. It's the last evening of the virtual CHW Summit. I don't know about y'all, but I am happy that it is coming to a close. It's been a great week, and I'm so glad that everyone has participated in the week this far. So go ahead, come on in. As y'all can tell, I'm losing my voice. Like I said earlier, when you are flat foot teaching, it takes a lot out of you, right? You know it, Tasha. You know it, Alisa. It takes a lot out of you. Let me give you some control here, Alisa. There you go. You should be able to turn your camera on now. All righty. Happy Friday, everybody. How you ladies doing?
Good.
Good, good, good. I can't complain. I can't complain. It's Friday. We got CHW instructors on the live tonight. The thing for today was CHW instructors. So let's quickly, because we don't have much time and we know these 30 minutes are so full of content and they go so fast. Let's quickly go around the room, introduce ourselves, and remind everybody what topic you presented on today, and then we'll go straight into the question. So, hello, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. My name is Quisha Umemba, CEO and founder of Umemba Health LLC. You should know enough about me by now, so I'm not going to go any further into that. Today, I presented on edutaining virtual facilitation skills for community health worker instructors. And Tasha, you want to go next?
Hey, everybody, I'm Tasha Whitaker, and I presented on 3 skills to level up as a CHW instructor. Hope y'all enjoyed it. I also have the podcast, the CHW Crew, and I also do um, professional development training for health and wellness classes.
Awesome. Thank you for being here, Tasha and Alisa.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alisa Howard. I presented on the Mentoring 101 today. My CHW experience comes from teaching at the College of Southern Nevada for the past 3 years. Also, I am the owner of Minority Health Consultants, which is a small boutique of public health consulting. And then the W Mentorship Network. I am the co-founder with Quisha.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So, everybody that's joined in, please go ahead and put your questions and answers that you have in the Q&A box or even the chat box. There's not that many of us on, so we'll be able to see any questions that you have. First things first, if I don't know if she's here tonight. Last night I was supposed to answer a question. Chica, she's not on. And I said, oh, we're going to get to that question. And then we got off and completely forgot. So let's answer Chica's question first, Elisa. So Chica wanted to know, as a CHW, oh, do you remember it? I think it was like, how can I go into business for myself as a CHW? Matter of fact, I texted to you. Just look at your phone and see exactly what it says. Okay, so I'm looking to see who's here. Taliba Johnson. I wanted to contact you. I'm going to say it here. So there were two individuals that reached out to me and said they wanted to volunteer. They wanted to help out with the summit. Taliba Johnson was one of them. And I never got back to you. I'm so sorry. Both of the ladies, I met with them. I love their spirits. We had talked about how they could help out with the summit, and I was like, great. You're gonna get a discount if you decide to, do the CHW certification or CHW instructor certification. So I want to publicly honor that, Taliba. Even though you did not have an opportunity to volunteer, that's my bad, not you. That's because I'm doing all the things, and I just didn't take the time and stop to pull you in. I want to publicly honor that. Let me look at my notes while we're on tonight, and I'll call out the other young lady because I want y'all to hold me to my word. I'm so glad that you're here tonight. So let's get back to Chica's question, Elisa. You got it? Okay, what was her question?
Are there opportunities for private practice as a CHW?
That was such a great question. Are there opportunities for private practice as a CHW? So, hey, we all kind of do our own thing, like private practice, entrepreneurial. So let's just kind of all tag team this question, right? Let's start with you, Tasha, and then I'll go, and then Elisa, you can finish up. So, are there any private practice or entrepreneurial opportunities in your opinion for a CHW?
Yes. And so I've been exploring that, just being fully transparent. My experience is about 10 years as a CHW and an instructor. And so now I've just been basically putting all of that experience into action by providing workshops, professional development workshops for community centers, organizations that are familiar with community health workers, or they may want a different training in something else and one of the competencies. Sometimes they might not want all of the competencies. It just might be something very specific that they want. And so I create curriculum for that. So I definitely would say yes to that.
Perfect. And I would say it's always an opportunity. I preach this a lot, like find your lane, right? So when I first got started, people were like, Quisha, what is it that you do? I couldn't even put a name on it. I just knew that I wanted to put together all the things that I like to do, right? I like helping people, right? Most nurses do. I like educating. I think I, shared that with y'all earlier today. I like developing curriculums. I like also being in charge of my own stuff, right? I like organizing. I love event planning. Like I used to do weddings and bridal showers and things like that. I'm a visionary. So yes, I think there's a lot of opportunity to do it. I wouldn't necessarily say that you have to do it as a CHW. You can do it as a CHW, but you can just be an entrepreneur or infopreneur or edupreneur. All three of those terms I consider myself to be in your own right as well. We did have in a mentorship back in November, Alisa, we did have someone that had a lot of experience, Connie, when it came to like Alzheimer, elder care. Like she was well versed. She knew everything there was about like seniors and elderly people and, all those specifics. And I was like, you know what, you sound like a senior care consultant. And she was like, I really never thought about that before. And I'm like, yes, just make up your own thing. Make up, if nobody has come before you and done it, do it. Because it can be done, especially in this day and age where everything is virtual, everything is digital. You can find out everything you want to know on Pinterest or YouTube. You can just make up anything that really puts together all of your passions to serve others. So that's what I got, Alisa.
So basically to piggyback off of both of you, I always tell my students, take what you have and build on it. I'm not big into titles. I think titles limit you. So don't just take the community health worker title and think, oh, I'm just a community health worker. No, build off of that. What lane do you want to be in? Market yourself in that lane as the expert, but make sure you are an expert first. But as far as like CHW work, that's just community health work. You don't even have to be called a community health worker in your title. You could just be called, like you said, for Connie, senior care consultant. Yes, she's a community health worker, but she got all of that knowledge while she was a CHW. Now she can form this own title in her own business per se as a consultant. So I just say be innovative. Think outside the box. We say that all the time, but really think outside of it because boxes limit you and so do titles.
Absolutely. Great. Thank you, ladies. I wanted to make sure that...
Can I add to that really quickly?
Go ahead. Yeah.
So in the presentation, I talked about having a personal presentation plan. And one of the questions in there is like, what do you want to be known for? And so sometimes you find yourself, you might start presenting on the same topic over and over again, and you might actually like it. And so one of the ways to just develop yourself is do more in that lane, start speaking more on it, start creating curriculum in that lane. And before you know it, there may be people that only want that training. And that's how you can kind of start to find your lane for that. That's basically kind of what I started to do.
Yeah.
Off of that, Tasha. I'm like, we're having a whole conversation here. That makes me think of how I was like backed into this HIV educator role because I became an HIV director and then I was known as the HIV lady in Las Vegas. It was very crazy. But then people wanted to just put me only in that lane. And I broke out of that thing because I said, I do not only want to, yes, I have an expert opinion on HIV because that's the longest field that I have been in, but I dip in everything now. I dip in health policy and things of that nature. So I definitely agree with you, Tasha.
Yeah, the saying says there's riches in the niches, right? So I'll tell anybody, be well-rounded, but certainly if you're going to be an expert or have expertise in something, try to find one or two areas because just like you said, somebody's going to want just that, right? Somebody's going to want just that expertise in that topic that you're talking about. So great. I found the other young lady. Jasmine Clay is the other one. She's not on tonight. Jasmine Clay, I will redeem your tuition discount. Thank you for your offer to help with the virtual CHW summit. Sarai says they call me the sickle cell lady due to the outreach that she does in the community. And she does a lot of outreach. Sarai does a lot. Shout out to Sarai for always sharing new member health stuff. I really appreciate you. You've been rocking with me since last year, and I appreciate the support. Thank you so much for joining in always. Okay, let's get to these questions. We've got great questions. First, it's going to go to Tasha. How do you work through people in your class being more knowledgeable in a topic area that you are teaching on as the instructor? Okay.
So this has actually come up quite often in class because we know that sometimes getting into CHW work can be a second career, right? And so people come in as, attorneys, I've heard you once say, Alisa, teachers, all kind of stuff. And so say we're talking about communication and there's a teacher in there that's like, I've been teaching for 20 years. I don't know. I'm, a great communicator. Ain't nothing you can tell me about being a good communicator. And one of the things that I would do was I would lean into that. At first, it used to intimidate me. It really did. I used to get very intimidated because I'm like, I've only been doing this for like 3 years. And so I would lean into it and I learned to allow them space to talk about their experience. And when you allow them to talk about their experience, it actually stimulates more conversation. I think you do have to set up some boundaries, right? In class, but I think when you also allow them space to talk about that and you understand that you're not, as an instructor, you're not gonna know everything. And they're also teaching you, you can't go into it saying that everything there is to know about this topic, because we don't. And so just allowing them to share their experience and leaning into it, I think that really helps the situation.
I love that. That was a perfect answer. I remember as a nurse, every time I had a nurse or a doctor as a patient, I'd be like, oh, I don't want to go in there and deal with them. Oh, if I mess up on some, if I don't get a medicine right on time, they're going to know, they're going to say this. It was always so intimidating, but everything you said was spot on. Loved the presentation you did on mentoring, Alisa. I was kind of chuckling because, as your partner, I know what we go through as mentors, but I have to ask this question that somebody sent in. Do you have to be a mentee before you can become a mentor?
Not necessarily. I got into public health without a mentor. So I was never mentee per se in this particular field. For several years, I have told both of you on several different occasions that Nevada, it's starting to get better, but it's a very, people are in their niche. And if you're a Black woman and there's another Black woman in public health, they looking at you like, you're not about to take my spot. So I never had anybody really step up and say, hey, I'll take you on, I'll help you. I just kind of had to navigate and find those people who would just be my friends. And then they would just teach me through, conversations and things like that. So I've never technically been mentored. So I was never really the mentee in this area. What I did learn is because as far as being a mentor is that people need mentors. So no, I would say you do not have to be a mentee first. I learned how to be a mentor by seeing what I needed while I was going through the journey.
I love that. And I also think a lot of times people think of mentee, mentor, and think it's this big formal professional relationship, which it can be. But I have so many mentors that they don't even know they're my mentors. Like, I have so many people that I'm like, I'm watching you. I see what you're doing, sis. It's a good look. I want to be like you when I grow up, right? And so people can be mentors from afar. If you're getting that type of influence, then you're being mentored. It's just not a professional, like you're not meeting them once a month on a calendar or once a week or something like that. But you're still a mentee. You're still learning from them.
I just told you that I have been following her for the last couple of years of my career, these last years, and that she became my mentor. She was like, I didn't even know that. I said, I know.
I was watching you. That's okay. I was watching you. Before I go back to Tasha, so there was one part when I was watching the video and you said something about people think that being a mentor is not effortless or something. Do you remember exactly what you said? You were like, it takes effort. Let me repeat. It takes effort.
had to say that twice because
And I was like, oh, I felt all of that.
yes, because it's not effortless. Now, as a mentor, I don't put it out there that I'm a mentor until we started the CHW mentorship network and said, hey, people need this. Before that, I wasn't screaming out that I was a mentor. So I was people would hit me up in my inbox on IG or LinkedIn and say, I've been following you, I've been watching you. I just need some guidance. There's nobody in my state that will help me. And I'm just like, okay, come on. And just, share information with them or whatever. That was not effortless. That took my time. That took my energy. That took me responding with courtesy and respect. I could have been just like, girl, you need to get yours how I got mine, and people do respond that way. So it's not effortless. I think pouring into people takes lots of effort. I'm spiritual, so I know God pours into me, and I know there's an effort behind that because I'm of course very headstrong. So you don't get the people that you mentor are not always, just because you are their mentor, going to just take your advice very easily, or they may say, I don't want to do that, give me some other advice. And so it's not effortless. You are definitely putting some time and some energy and some work into people.
Yeah, and there's a trend for those that are watching. There's a trend now. I don't know if you see it, but people charge for mentoring, right? Like because people have been burnt out, stood up. The mentee doesn't take it serious. They try to use you just to get your connections. I talked to my cousin. Is she a social worker? I can't remember what she is, but she does something in the psychiatric realm. And she's like, oh, I just took on nurse practitioners. I'm doing preceptorships for nurse practitioners, and it pays, I think she said $3,000 a semester or something. And I was like, wait a minute, they charging the precept people now? Mm-hmm. So now it's like, it's become almost a business. I shared a post with you the other day about somebody that was mentoring. I think it was in the pharmacy field or something. So if somebody is going to mentor you, especially if it's for free, please be respectful of their time. Put the work in. I have one mentee, aside from what we do, I have one personal mentee right now, a gentleman that I'm taking on, and it's like, he does the questionnaire, he does the work, we meet when we're supposed to, and it's like, okay, it's good, we're doing good, but it's not effortless at all. It takes a lot of work on top of everything else that you're doing, but it's so worth it. Like, you get a lot out of it, and to see people really develop and blossom into, professionals, it really makes us feel good. I know it makes me feel good.
It feels good.
Let's see, Tasha, what recommendations do you have for an instructor that is not tech savvy? Ooh. And how can I level up when I'm not comfortable in this area?
So, I'll give a quick little story. So my husband is in the IT industry, right? And I myself am not huge into tech and all of that. You would think I am but I'm really not. So I've been having this old cell phone for years, y'all, years. He recently got me this new phone. And when I got the phone, I got in my car and I got ready to connect it with my auxiliary cord. Yeah. This phone has nowhere for you to put an auxiliary cord. So that meant that I had to be like, okay, Tasha, this is on a whole nother level. And if you don't level up, you're going to get really left behind. By the time you get a new cell phone, it's going to be all kind of stuff out, right? And that's the same way I would say with technology. Either you're going to go ahead and try to use it, or else you're going to get really left behind. And that's just putting it nicely, because that's just the world we're in right now. Start slow. Of course, start slow. Ask for help. Number one, I would say ask for help. If there's, not anyone in your immediately family or friends that's tech savvy, find somebody that can mentor you. Going off of what you just said, in technology, and that can take it slow with you. There's college courses, free courses, YouTube University, all kind of areas that you can utilize to get up on technology. I would also say that, be patient with yourself. Look, I know for a lot of us in the community health worker field, in person was our thing. Like, training in person, you got it down, but Zoom, being an octopus like Quisha, that like, that was challenging for a lot of people. And so be patient with yourself, give yourself grace, be patient. But I definitely would say that it's something that you just got to go ahead and start small and start getting into slowly.
I tell Quisha this all the time. I'm like, I don't know, like if you just went and took an IT, like you have a degree. I don't know, but I don't know what you're talking about. Because she's like, oh girl, just do this. And she'll just whip up something really quick. And I'm like, wait a minute. Now, I would not say that I'm IT or tech not savvy. I thought I was until I met Quisha. So
Yeah.
know that
this is the thing. First of all, most of y'all can probably go ask your kids, right? A 2-year-old could do anything on iPhone.
Oh yeah.
That you ever thought they wanted to do. But honestly, what did it for me? Because I was pre-COVID, I was not this person, right? Well, 6 months pre-COVID is when I really started with Umemba Health. I wasn't this tech savvy, and I still don't think I'm tech savvy. I think I'm getting there. But I'm telling you, I have a PhD in YouTube University. I do. When I at nighttime when I'm trying to fall asleep, like if my husband's fall asleep before me, what do I do, Alisa? What do I do? Watch YouTube videos. Anything I want to learn how to do, I put on a doggone YouTube video. I'm always in school, right? It's so many anything you want to learn, you can on Pinterest, you can cook it or decorate it, and on YouTube you can figure out how to do it. You can do it all. So it's really no excuse these days. Bianca said those how-to videos help. They do. The only how-to videos I don't like on YouTube are the natural hair videos. Just get to the point. I don't really. This here, the texture, see this, ma'am. Get to the style, please. Those are the only how-to videos I cannot stand on YouTube.
I just used YouTube the other day actually because I had to figure out how to, when I did my presentation, Quisha, I had to figure out how to take it, the Zoom video, and put it on my iMovie. And I was like, this is not working. I put on a how to take Zoom into Mac.
And you got it.
And I did it.
You literally Google what you want. Absolutely. You literally do. So right, I just watch all of these. Okay, great. Okay, so next question. We're going to go down. Let's see. I don't have, this is Alisa's question. I don't have a network. Can I still be a mentor? Oof.
Oh yeah, because you can always build a network. We all, listen, people, we did not all start with networks. You start a network. You start getting on LinkedIn. This goes with our CMPD class, how we teach people how to network. You literally get on LinkedIn, you get on Instagram, you put in your title, what you do, and then you start and then actually they kind of do some of the algorithm work for you. They'll start recommending people that you probably should connect with just because of your title and the things that you say that you do. And so when you put public health or CHW, it's going to start connecting you to different CHW associations, to different public health people like us. And that's how you start networking. Now, that's the first step. Now you have to actually say something and communicate. Now you can't go and like people's stuff, but personally, I don't like to do that. I like to say, hey, I saw that we should be connected in some type of way, especially if it's LinkedIn, just because that's more professional. On Instagram, you can probably just follow anybody, but on LinkedIn, you definitely want to just say, hey, I like what you do. Thank you for connecting with me, and then just keep doing that. And then next thing you know, you have 100, 150 people that you networked with.
Right. Great example. Any example for you when it comes to creating a network, Tasha?
So there's this acronym called FRANK, and it's like friends, I think like something else, associates, your church members, kids, friends, and, family, things like that. And I think that if you just kind of really look at the people that you're surrounded around and kind of tear it off, you're going to realize there's all kind of people around you, like all kind of people around you, whether you, you're into fitness, you go to the gym or you go to church, or there's all kind of people you can network. You just have to learn how to say it. Like Alisa was saying, you have to learn how to talk to people and navigate the conversation so that you can kind of learn more about other people. And one thing I like to do, like even when we were out in the world, I like to listen more to people than I am saying what I do. So like when you meet somebody, be more interested, genuinely interested in what they do, and that kind of leads the conversation.
I like that. That's a really good point. I was looking at something that Bianca put in the chat. She said it's sometimes intimidating to approach some people, but starting with a simple hello is a start. It can be intimidating. This is the thing I didn't realize until last year. So with Diversity and Diabetes, we hosted the People of Color Living with Diabetes Summit. And we had a couple of high profile people in that summit. One was a retired NFL Super Bowl football player. I don't know. I have one football game I watch a year, that's Super Bowl. So I don't really know how to talk football. And then the other was a world-renowned physician. And literally, we just slid in a DM on Instagram. So I say that to say it can be intimidating, but technology and social media has made it to where you literally can just slide in people's DMs and say like, hi, I'm so-and-so, I'm from this organization, da 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 da. And at first when I first heard about this a few years ago, I was like, oh, how rude. How dare people bother Beyonce and Rihanna by sliding in their DMs like that? But like people get noticed that way.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to approach people. It's a social world. I said that earlier. People are kind of used to that type of thing. If you are on LinkedIn though, because it is a professional platform like Alisa said, and you want to send a message, make sure or you want to send a connection, make sure that you actually send a message like, hi, this is who I am. This is how I found out about you. I'd love to connect, or, say something that you have in common or something like that. You don't want to just be connecting like you would on other social media platforms.
How to connect with someone on social media. You can literally
Google it. There you go.
And it'll give you like little examples of how you start a conversation with someone.
Absolutely. That's that degree from Google Community College. Thank you, Alisa, for doing that. So last question for you, Tasha. What can a CHW instructor do on a regular basis, like quarterly, to level up?
So pour into yourself, invest in yourself, I definitely would say. I think, it doesn't have to be anything really extravagant like we think sometimes. It could really just be you watching a YouTube video to learn something new, invest in yourself and get a mentor. Have people around you that will also pour into you as well. I think those are two things that kind of really stand out on how to level up, because and the reason that I say that I'm saying get a mentor, obviously for obvious reasons, I think that's important for you to grow, but you kind of sometimes need people to help you along your way if you're not sure of where you want to go. And it's always good to bounce ideas off of people. So yeah, have your circle, have people that are pouring into you.
I love that. I'm gonna piggyback off that, and then I'll ask Alisa to answer that question too. So, one, you said have people pour into you. I'm really big at that stage of my life right now. I came across a saying that said, prioritize people that prioritize you. So many people can just suck and drain the life out of you. They don't care what you got going on, how many irons you got in the fire. They don't care. When they need you, you better come running. And so I'm at the point where it's like I pour out so much, I can only really prioritize my time for people that's going to pour into me. Because that's where I'm at right now. Secondly, don't be surrounded by yes people. My closest friends, they tell it to me like it is. It don't hurt my feelings because, we friends, we know how it is. But they tell it to me like it is, and it's like the best thing for me. Surround yourself with people that aren't just going to tell you how it is. I have friends that will say, Quisha, you're doing too much. You team too much. Sit down somewhere. Sat down somewhere, as we say in Arkansas. Sat down somewhere. So those are my two things. Oh, of course, and invest in yourself, right? I'm a big proponent for education. So, whether it's I'm going to put this phone down at 8 o'clock. I go to bed at 9. I'm going to put this phone down at 8 o'clock every night, and I'm going to read a chapter of this book. Like Tasha said, it doesn't have to be big. It can be small, but you need to do something. And yes, sometimes you will need to come off some money, right?
Yeah.
My biggest investments were true, for real investments, right? I don't regret any business coaching I've had. I don't regret any speaking class. I don't regret anything that I put money on because, one, I research everything and I make sure that the investment is worth it. And it's something different about when you paying for it, right? I realized I didn't get the attendance with this summit that I got last year because this one wasn't free, right? But I think this one had a lot more value than last year. So you get what you pay for as well. So those are kind of my 3 tips. I'll let you speak now, Lisa. If you have something.
Pretty much what you all said, but I would, as far as the keep learning, this person I think said quarterly, and did they say they're a CHW instructor, right?
I think so. Let me see. Let me look.
So if you are a CHW
Yeah.
instructor, okay.
Yeah.
If you are a CHW instructor, I would say get with other CHW instructors. Be around like minds, but also be around just other people who like to learn. Find webinars. I'm constantly just looking for LinkedIn stuff, webinars on a subject that I like, whether it's HIV or whether it's health policy stuff, just so I can stay informed. So I'll put like at least 2 or 3 a week on my calendar that I look through my calendar now, I'll try to fill it up, but I look through my calendar and say, where can I fit a webinar if I see something that I like, just so that's an hour of free learning. And sometimes it's not free. If it's $15 or $20 or whatever you're investing within yourself. So I would definitely say build your CHW instructor network, because those are going to be people of like minds. They're teachers, they're educators. Everyone does not have that title. And so being with other CHWs, also just being around people who understand the work that you do, and then investing in yourself. I'm really a huge proponent on reading. Also, like Quisha, if I could turn my camera around, I would show y'all my self-help type books that I have on my bookshelf. I'm really big into just developing myself constantly, whether I do this type of work or not. I just want to be a better person.
Yeah. I love it.
I would like to say, I'm glad you said that, because when you were speaking, I was gonna say it doesn't always have to be like health wellness specific. Yeah. So don't, it doesn't have to always be that way. It could, like, again, investing in yourself means so many different things. So if it's self-help, if it's spiritual, if it's, fitness, whatever it is, it's still investing in you.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I love
it.
Podcasts, because you all have, well, Tasha, I know you have a podcast where you're bringing people on, educating people. That is even an educational component, because you're bringing someone on that may be speaking about a different area of health that someone else doesn't know about. They're getting educated. So I think sometimes we think that, it has to look official, but it can be literally a podcast. When I'm working, I put my pods in, and I'm listening to podcasts all day, or I'm listening to Brene Brown, or I'm learning about compassion or whatever. I'm just always growing and trying to learn.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I love how you said surround yourself with like-minded people. Because one thing I realized about when I became an entrepreneur, like, you gotta have people that know what it's like, right? And so in everything if you're a student, you need to be surrounded with other students. You're a CHW, surround yourself with other CHWs. You're an entrepreneur, surround yourself with other entrepreneurs. I think that's so good to find that circle of support in whatever atmosphere that you're in. Are there any questions, please, before we do the daily giveaway? Are there any questions that any of you have for any of us? We're all instructors. We're all entrepreneurs. This has been a great week, y'all. Every night, it's been short and sweet, but it has been really, really good information. So everything is going to be available for recording. So if you found this valuable, please share it with other people as well. The CEs are good for 2 years, so it's probably going to be for sale, at least until next year anyway. Thank you for sticking it out and all the technical difficulties that we had. There's most definitely going to be a different platform that we're going to use next year as well too. Thank you for your comment, Hanaya. I saw that there. You said something. What did you say? Let me find it. You said you look at relationships as bank accounts. I can't afford to overdraft. That's right. That is right. Too many people withdraw from you and they will leave you in overdraft, and that is certainly not where you want to be. Absolutely. Bianca said, I leveled up attending this summit. This was awesome, well-rounded, informal, and relatable. Thank you. I'm so glad it was relatable. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Demetra. Thank you so much, Carla. I'm glad you enjoyed it as well. Thank you, Sarai. Even with the technical difficulties, glad that we got through this week. All right, so one lucky winner for tonight is going to be able to join us. Can y'all see my screen, the daily giveaway screen?
Yes.
Okay, I want to make sure. So the CHW instructor certification starts next Thursday. It is a 15-week online course. We meet once a week from 5:30 to 8:30 on Thursdays. The emphasis is virtual instructor-led training. I want to be able to say one day that all CHWs that come out of Umemba Health, bad with the technology, bad when it comes to teaching, bad when it comes to instruction. And when I say bad, I mean good for those of you that don't know my vernacular. So that program starts next Thursday. Thanks to our sponsors and our vendors, one of you will be able to attend. So let's go ahead and draw for that individual. Again, it's transferable, it's giftable. If you're an organization, an association, an employer, and you don't need it, or you're already a CHW instructor, guess what? You got to be somebody's best friend because you.
This is a great gift.
Yes, it is a great gift, the gift of leveling up. So let's see who tonight's winner is. Elizabeth Cortez, congratulations. I will be sending you an email and letting you know how to redeem. If there is nothing else, Asteria, I see you too. Good information. Thank you so much. This has been great. Always fills me up. I hope it filled you up as well too. Tasha, thank you, ladies. You've been with me 2 years in a row. You're the founding mothers, the founding sisters. I cannot thank you enough. I really appreciate you too. I really do.
Of course, girl. This was awesome. It's always fun to connect with y'all. So, I'm glad I was able to be a part.
Awesome. All right, ladies, y'all have a great night. Everybody have a great weekend. Be safe. Bye-bye.